Welcome back to the Nullified Take channel here on YouTube, where we've got the TNT takes for you on the Amazing Race Australia.
Yes.
There. Of course, joined by Tom, V, and Michelle. Tom, oh, look at that. The
It's
fireworks
fireworks.
going off in the background.
What can I say? I bring the
I'm
magic.
assuming, Tom, that was because of your brilliant looking new haircut.
It could be that. It could be so many different things, But V knows all about my fireworks magic from Survivor UK reviews.
That's cool.
We don't know how it happens. It just
She's
appears.
just shaking her head. She doesn't seem all that as pleased as Michelle. Michelle liked it. You got a fan
I
there.
love it.
Yeah, it only works for me, but well, you know.
Oh.
There you go. Some editing magic from Tomac. I am, of course, joined by V and Michelle. We are discussing episode 9 and 10, week 5 of the Amazing Race Australia Celebrity Edition. How's everyone's week been? Like, we're getting to the end of the season. How's everyone feeling about it so far?
Good.
Yeah, fun.
Love it.
Swell.
I'm kind of liking that it's 12 episodes, 2 a week. They keep it tight. They're not stretching it out over 6 months or whatever the case may be. But we're getting our bang for buck, that's for sure. And it doesn't stop in episode 9 because we are in Siem Reap in Cambodia. We start from last week, 5 teams remaining. Mema and Haley wake up in the luxurious upgrade, and the teams race on foot to the first clue. And of course, one thing that's come up in this episode, which I don't know if it was happening in other episodes, but I didn't notice. But this one I definitely did notice, and I loved it a lot. Darren does this thing where he likes calling Harry and Teddy intentionally wrong names. And it was at this point where I wrote my notes because Darren said it, so I must have written it down incorrectly. But I wrote Harry and Barry have a speed bump to complete. Because I think Darren called them Harry and Barry.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they run to their first detour where the choice is start the giggles or stop the wobbles. What are we thinking here? Stop the giggles, stop the wobbles. As soon as you see it, I don't know if either of the descriptions are helping out there, but basically one is start the giggles. They basically go on both of them are at a circus. They have to learn a slapstick routine where the focus is going to be like communication, coordination, that sort of thing. Whereas stop the wobbles is, again, another circus trick where they have to balance on a tube for 1 full minute. What are you choosing here, Michelle? Start the giggles, stop the wobbles? You're on mute.
On mute.
Sorry, just seeing wobbles and giggles, I would go for giggles, because wobbles, I'm just thinking of those plates on sticks or something like that, and I'm thinking I don't want to stop anything wobbling. It sounds like it's going to be a nightmare.
And it's a circus too, right? So it's going to be something like very V. Are you giggling? Are you wobbling?
Wobbling all the way. That giggling thing looked hard.
Here we
go.
That
looked impossible.
But if you're just going by the words, you can't see what it is.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh my God. Yeah, see, wobbly, I'd be worried that it would be something with heights, which is another one of my Achilles heels. So just another way to get me down. So I'd probably go giggles if it was blind.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was like Angie and oh my God, my brain's not working. And Ali and Angie, where you could, if I decided to run between the two, I think wobble, you could have better chance of knocking it out quick if you needed to. Which I think is ultimately where they landed after doing their run around.
Yeah, I like how they kind of chose. They looked at it. They had all the options. Looked at at wobbles first. Went, this is going to be way too hard. Let's have a look at the other one. Oh no, this one's even harder, and go back again. And with 5 people left, normally not making a decision early on the detour and switching between tasks can often be a death knell, especially with that many people left. But it shows how difficult these tasks were, that it sort of gave them the time. Because I think that they had swapped tasks and were coming back before Yana and Kor even arrived for the first. which is really
Yeah.
fascinating that there wasn't any challenges before that. It was just leaving the hotel and heading straight there. Tom, are you wobbling? Are you giggling?
I'm wobbling. I'd much prefer a balance-based challenge, and if it was something heights related, so I'm not a fan of heights, I'd just go to the other one. But yeah, I like that wobble challenge a lot. Definitely would be in more so my wheelhouse. I didn't like the giggling routine at all. I thought it was like way too much work. And but what annoyed me? Okay, so I'm sorry, Darren and Tristan pointed out like in the next episode, but once again, the perfect challenge for Emma and Haley. Let's just give all the perfect challenges. I haven't seen a single challenge that's been like the perfect challenge for anyone except for Emma and Haley on multiple occasions. So,
But they're just that talented. They can do anything.
Yeah, except for cut fish,
Oh, well.
But it's kind of like, I mean, a lot of the times that's what Amazing Race challenges are kind of like. It's learning songs and repeating things and learning routines and dances.
And it's not just for them. Like I know it looks to the general public, they're saying, oh, it's another Emma and Haley challenge, but they literally have a dance or a song challenge every 3 episodes, if not every 2 episodes. So it's not as though it's anything different to what we've seen in any franchise.
This one, though, being called Start the Giggles or Stop the Wobbles, very close to the word wiggles, by the way. I'm just saying, like, maybe it was perfectly made for Emma.
and let's be real, they would have been great at the wobbling challenge as well. Like they were both made for them.
Yeah.
They might have been quicker on that one as well.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed in this challenge as well, by the way, and it carries on in the rest of the episode, but then not in the second one, is that this is the first time we don't get the emphasis of how Angie is a Swum for Australia. They really played up the ankle injury, the sore back. They're like, oh, Angie can't do it. But in other episodes, we're getting, she's an Australian swimmer. She's amazing. Like in this one, she's like, I'm going up against these 2 big dudes, Darren and Tristan. Yana's an Olympic athlete, and I'm like, I swear, every single episode you're talking about how you're an Australian swimmer. I know she's 53, but it's the first time they didn't like play that angle up and really tried to emphasize, hey, I got a sore ankle, I got a bad back, stuff going on here. And they face difficulties because of that, swapping back and forth. I was impressed with Teddy and Betty in this one, because he was saying that Harry's like 6'5" or something, and was still able to do the wobble challenge really quite well, considering how their size and stuff. So it didn't necessarily come down to size, but really just that resilience again that Amazing Race tends to throw at people and test your patience. From there, we move on to a route info, which was bicycle delivery, basically transporting 40 brooms to a furniture shop using bicycles. And there was obviously the same Amazing Race requirements around attention to detail, how you line them up, how low they can go on the bike, and how you rack them, etc. I like in this one that Emma and Haley said that they have knots in their blood because their dad made knots.
Yeah,
like tied knots. So it's I do like on the Amazing Race where they try to find any tenuous link in their real life to kind of somehow convince themselves that it'll help them in
well,
the
that's good though. That's all positivity, and that can help immensely. Conversely to what Yana does at every challenge, which is, play everything down. Everything's a problem.
She does back it up though by reinforcing positivity by saying "buddy" like 1,000 times an episode.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy, you can do it, buddy. Let's go, buddy.
You're useless, buddy.
And then it
I
turns
liked how
me that way.
Haley was on the way. Emma and Haley were on the way to do the brooms and saw Harry and Teddy and said, "Eat our dust."
Eat our dust.
The most violent we've seen Emma.
Yeah.
it was at this point Darren was shocked that he said Teddy and Betty were ahead of him, and then he changed it to Teddy and Eddie like the next sentence. So I thought that was really clever. And Ali said, you know, on TV with cameras, and her mum, or she actually said it to her mum. She said she's not sure why her technique is to put everything between her legs. And she said that to her mum on national TV, which I'm always interested in seeing the way
Anything for a joke.
go. Yeah.
Anything, any way to get a joke in. Doesn't matter
We
who
also
hears
see Harry and Teddy, or Teddy and Betty, or Teddy and Eddie, or Harry and Barry, depending on who you ask. They face their speed bump, which is basically just to do the same task over again, but this time they have to do it each, and they have to do it by foot. No help of a bicycle. And here we get to see maybe the fun-loving, wisecracking, easy-go-lucky lads in Harry and Teddy. Maybe not so easy go lucky.
luckily.
Yeah, whatever
That's
it
Teddy
is.
and Betty to you.
Yeah, not so chill. Anyway, what do
that
we
was
think of
not a
Harry
good
and
look.
Teddy's reaction here?
That was
To be-
embarrassing.
To be fair,
Yeah.
I mean, George and Pam just have to pick up a little bit of rubbish, and then they got to bloody run all the way back, and then like the two what are they called? Speed bumps have like not even been remotely on the same level. But the part I disliked the most was when they got back there and they just dropped all the brooms on the ground, and like this lady who's just there living in her country doing her thing. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
But here are you stupid brooms.
Yeah, no, it wasn't her fault,
like
but
that.
I think they should have. I know there needs to be more consistency with like those kinds of challenges. Like speed bumps should be the all same level of difficulty roughly.
But would there be a difference with that? It's the top 5 as opposed to George and Pam were so much earlier on, so it was a bit easier. Do they sort of bring out the big guns for the later on in the?
I'd say that makes it work. You want like the speed bump to be something small enough to like give them a chance. If you're making the speed bumps harder as it goes along, that makes it less likely for the person who's enduring the speed bump to have a shot of not coming last again. But I just thought like, wow, pick up some trash, run back and carry 40 brooms in the blazing hot sun.
Yeah, I didn't think of it. I didn't think of that, but when they got it, I thought, oh, that's good. They don't have to go anywhere different. They don't have to think about, trying to get somewhere else and maybe get the wrong address or something. All they had to do was do the same thing, go back down the street, get more brooms and come back. And when they got that, I'm like, oh, that's good. And then they had a whole dummy spit, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah. Ellen was saying that did Harry and Teddy go to the complaining school of Yana Pittman in this speed bump? Even on an episode when she's going to go out, we're talking about Harry and Teddy. Ellen still brings up Yana.
Yeah.
Good on you, Ellen. Good on you.
And Labai saying Terry and Betty, Eddie and Eri, Shreddy and Sterry. Yeah. So yeah, it was an interesting reaction when, like, it may have been obviously very difficult to do that walk again, but like, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, for them especially, I don't think it was that like extreme. Like, it's just go for the walk again, So
it wasn't, like, seriously.
So anyway, Harry and Teddy, after their tantrum, I think he said that we got to pick up our big boy pants, go for a big boy walk, and pick up some big boy brooms. They throw out these one-liners which are not, just the good old-fashioned saying of pick up our big boy pants. Like, because to me that implies that he took his pants off and left them somewhere. He's gonna go pick them up. Which he kind of did on the dancing challenge or something, wasn't it? Where they were like, "Oh, more layers in this heat."
Yeah,
he slipped them and put it on. So yeah, we get to the next challenge after delivering the brooms, where they essentially go to a lotus field, which is essentially like a muddy field, and have to collect 50 lotus flowers in order to extract the silk to make a 6-meter long piece of lotus silk, which is so
Amazing.
fascinating. Yeah, like the
That was
whole
incredible.
what do you think of this challenge? Like again, it required the endurance side. It's just monotony, doing the same thing over and over again, picking 50 of them, keeping count of how many you got to do. The intricacy of pulling that string out and rolling it again. It just tests all these different factors of what it's like to do these challenges and see where people come out. Was this one that you thought that Harry and Teddy, not necessarily attention to detail, would fly through and do so well from last to second in this one after their little spat, after their cry about the brooms?
So surprising. I'm just amazed that they did. I mean, it was such a meticulous thing to have to do, and they could go wrong in so many different ways, in that how they broke it, how they pulled it, how they, rolled it. There was so many ways they could go wrong. And Harry and Teddy just did it. And I was like, no way. They didn't even have to go back once. That was amazing.
Yeah, straight up. Like they didn't get any of the little tiny knots that people weren't even seeing them when they're doing it. But obviously the judge is an expert, sees, like, can pick them up just by feel. Harry and Teddy passing with flying colors, which is pretty amazing. Emma and Haley, was this one made for them as well? Because they smashed this one too. They're showing that they are pretty good.
Everything's made for them. Everything's made for them. They're beasts, just like Darren said.
Some compliments from Darren there in this episode, isn't it? Saying that they're their biggest competitor. You mentioned that you like this challenge with the lotus silk. Ellen is saying maybe this one. Is this more exciting than making a fruit basket, V?
I loved this one. This was when I love when you get to see a part of a culture. This was something I knew nothing about.
Yes.
And I was like, what's happening? And then they're making like clothing out of it. Oh, Ellen, I was so excited.
Does not care about fruit arrangement at all.
Well, I saw the commercial and I'm like, I need to see this now. I need to see it. And where do you get these scarves in Sydney, and how much is it? And do they have to be imported? Yeah, I had so many questions.
So good.
Ellen said that maybe the way they broke the lotus stems meant that more came out for them, being Harry and Teddy.
Handed.
Because they were a little bit more, And, I mean, it helped that does everyone know what song they came up with to help them, their motivational thing? Because they do this thing of saying, despite them having a tantrum in the very same episode, they're saying, oh, we just have fun with it, we enjoy it, that's how we kind of get through it. And they started chanting, break the stick, get the string, break the stick, get the string. Just showing again their mental acuity and how they think. God. I love when there's like stereotypical, just like beefy dudes that are just like meant to be, and they just completely double down on it and solidify whatever conceptions you had of them, preconceived or not. They just add to it. So I like when that happens,
I actually laughed a couple of times out loud. Once when Haley fell over, I don't know why I found that so funny. She fell over in the water and couldn't get up. And then also when, was it Darren, that he was doing something with the sticks and he said, scalpel? He was pulling it out. I thought, oh, that was good. That made me laugh out loud. Just sometimes Darren does make me just laugh with just one-liners or one word he suddenly comes out with. And he's so on the mark and he's so witty. And yeah, I just love those moments. Love them.
That's why he's a celebrity, I guess.
Yeah, he's really grown on me throughout the whole set. I know, Tom, you were high from the get-go on Darren Mack, but he's won me over for sure with some of his one-liners and the stuff that he comes up with.
I told you he'd provide the goods. he's delivering on all cylinders.
And was it Harry or Teddy that says there's light cheese in the swamp?
Oh, that was great. Maybe there were lychees in there as well. We don't know for a fact.
He did concede that it's leeches and maybe lychees as well. So I'm not sure which one they would have been more scared of. Either one that you get, either a leech or a lychee. If you get it between your toes, you get that, squish it between your toes. It's probably not going to be fun either way, right?
No,
Yeah.
neither.
Do you speak from
Hey.
experience, Kahuna? Is that from
Just the
experience?
lychees.
Oh,
Just
right,
the
yeah.
lychees. No idea about the leeches. Tom, Yana and Core up to their, keeping old traditions alive in this one with the way they talk to each other and the communication, again, just episode to episode. And to the point where Darren says here, can we get some earplugs? And then again, it gets so awkward that Harry decides he needs to step in. How's the communication with Yana and Buddy?
Are you referring to Useless and Giraffe? I'm glad they. I mean, first of all, like my predictions were perfect for this week, but more importantly, yeah, like it wasn't a nightclub, but I'm just glad they're gone because I don't know, I think they overstayed their welcome in the race, and that's how, at least that's how the other races felt. I think the other races were definitely fine with them leaving a long time ago, mainly Yana. I think Harry and Teddy would have liked to continue broing out with Core, and I'm sure Core would have loved going to, like, I don't know, Ibiza or wherever Harry and Teddy probably spend all their time with them. I feel like Harry and Teddy, like whenever they're not doing reality TV and whatnot, they would just be partying in Ibiza nonstop or somewhere like that. It's just the bros they are. But yeah, Yana and Core, glad they're gone. A bit upset that like there was sort of 2 non-eliminations in 3 episodes. I feel like the overall momentum of the race stalled this week, but overall still like an enjoyable week. All the challenges are good for the most part, except for fruit baskets, of course.
Well, they'll get my letter.
We did end up
I'm sure they will.
After the Lotus Silk was the checkpoint, and Em and Haley finished first after every challenge is made for them. Harry and Teddy moving up the lines. They did a speed bump. They were coming last. They had their little cry, but they picked up their big boy pants and came in second. Tristan and Darren came in third, and then Ali and Angie, Yana and Core, we again get the edit of who's going to make it, which one's ahead. Like, I don't know how well it's hard to hide. Like, we know when they're close. Like, they land pretty close. They can see each other. When they're running by themselves, it's pretty obvious. V, you're not a veteran of the Amazing Race, but are you picking it up as well? Like, they do try to make it seem at least plausible that someone might not go home, but what do you think when you see it?
Absolutely, and you've got to take the editing with a grain of salt. Did they finish just like that, or had they been gone for 30 minutes? And so sometimes I look at that and I go, I very much doubt it was that close. And yeah, the proof is when you see them running to the mat. It's very clear when there's someone on their tail. Production doesn't make them stand off out of frame. So I think got to take the editing with a grain of salt. They want you to wonder. They don't want you to go, oh, well, looks like Yana and Core's out tonight, so I'll turn off 10 minutes early. They want you to go, well, maybe they'll be okay. Maybe.
So it does mean that despite the edit, whatever it is, they try to trick us. It seems pretty obvious, but Ali and Angie beat Yana and Core to the mat. Yana and Core are eliminated from the race. Ellen said that, of course she did, because she's such a Yana fan, said, I let out the biggest sigh of relief when Yana and Core weren't in the next episode. I was like, I can enjoy this episode in peace. Michelle, what did you think of Yana and Core? I can't remember now, pre-season, what was our take on Yana and Core, and how did they stack up coming in 5th out of 11?
I thought they wouldn't do as well because of Core and his age. That's what I said originally. Obviously, Core showed that he is more capable than I thought he would be. Yana, I've read this week, was once they were voted out, she came out and said she was really sad how people had reacted on Twitter, especially. And then she was also disappointed in their communication. and how it was shown. Mind you, they can only show what you actually do.
Yeah.
They can't like make you say things or do things that that aren't great. I mean, you've got to do them. And she was really sad and distressed with the reactions, but I'm sorry, she shouldn't have acted the way she did. Poor Core. And it wasn't as though it was bad in real life. If it was just happening, in a household, that's mother and teenage son. But because you're on TV and you're being looked at, you're going to be scrutinized, and you have to take that into account if you're going on TV.
Yeah, it's a spotlight that you definitely shine on yourself. I thought, I know that he was only 16, but most 16-year-old boys, like we said, at least he could be, like we kept calling him the giraffe, but preseason I thought he could be a bit of a horse. Like, yeah, he'll just run, he can do the task, he's competent enough and physical enough that you've got the endurance at that age. And I thought Yana's, Olympic athlete who is also a doctor, who became a doctor later in life, like that says a lot, you know what I mean? Like I thought that her resilience and mental toughness would go a lot further in this game, to see that she really let Core, the 16-year-old giraffe, carry the team so much. And Tom, I know you're a big fan of Yana's performance here, but she kind of did live up to what you predicted a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, at least we know she's great at eating spiders and bull penises. That's the only.
She
skill.
was a beast at that. She was incredible.
But everything else useless.
Well, I think Tom, you or Michelle made the point that she's very much a solo athlete. If she was doing her medical degree solo, maybe she just finds it hard to let someone else into her process.
Yeah, that was Michelle. I think I used to run, and I actually found it more of it's not really a solo sport. Like maybe when you actually perform, but prior to that, I think it's definitely a team-based thing. But I was going to point out what Ellen's question: how many have Emma and Haley won? They've won 3. Darren and Tristan have won 5, and actually, the only week where someone other than those two have won is week 3. Ali and Angie won, and then Yana and Core won both the episodes in that week. So where are you now, Jonathan? I've taken your role. Step into my web.
The new stats, man.
Yeah. No, that was
Ellen raised this point. It's ironic that they put so much editing effort into the little montages at the end when they literally spoiled the Harry and Teddy make finale in week 1. Yeah, or in episode 1. So that does bring us to the end. We do say goodbye to Yan and Core. I don't know how their legacy in the game sort of stacks up. We thought they should have, like, all by the physical tools, on paper, they look like they should have done better than maybe they did week to week. Coming 5th probably isn't that bad, but their performances week in, week out, again, like their legacy is that they're having to apologize on Twitter and people like screaming at them and stuff like that. Is Tom secretly Jonathan? I think the fireworks says it all.
I'm secretly Jonathan and a wizard at the same time.
And
I think the legacy is... Oh, there you go, Ellen. I think their legacy is the team who was always not necessarily bickering, but the team that didn't gel. I don't know. They weren't.
It makes
great.
a difference, right? It makes a massive difference in a game like The Amazing Race. So we go to episode 10. This time we're moving to Borneo. And we start out with route info going to
Kota Kinabalu.
Yeah, that one.
Only because I have a friend. It's funny. I met him and he did my first org. He hosted my first ever org, and he was from there. So amazing that we finally get to go to where he lives. And also Borneo. I'm sorry, Series 1 Survivor, Borneo.
I know. Iconic.
Yeah. Full circle.
I'm
Everyone
so
knows the name Borneo because of Richard Hatch.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so beautiful.
Spoilers.
Well,
Spoiler.
25-year-old spoilers.
Just put it out
Also,
there.
and we all knew it was a non-elimination leg, although the general public casual viewer didn't know, but it has to be a non-elimination leg. If they're doing 12 episodes, they've got to go into next week with 4 teams.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that.
And you called that last. You called that last week as well. You said next week we're going to have another non-elimination episode, just with the way the numbers are working out.
Can I just say, I don't want to, bring up Beck and Kate, our fallen angels, robbed goddesses, but from like a race setup perspective, wouldn't it have made more sense to have, so there's the first non-elimination leg in the 3rd episode, and then 4 episodes later you have the next non-elimination leg, and then 3 episodes later is the next one. 2 episodes later is the next one, instead of 3 in, then you have like a big 5 stretch, and then you have a non-elimination leg, elimination, then non-elimination leg. Like that just seemed like, how would you feel if you were Yana and Core? You come last in the week in between 2 other people, and you're the one who goes out. I'm like, oh well, these other 2 people.
Yeah.
Like, so I just think it would have made more sense to make the Beck and Kate one a non-elimination, and then the next episode. Look, hey, for all I know, they still get eliminated.
Specifically.
Even though obviously they'd be amazing with the silk challenges and the balancing probably, and there's no spiders, so they're all good to go. But I'm just saying, and also then we wouldn't have the Harry and Teddy spoilers, everyone, that we know they're making the final. Well, actually, it'll be the next episode that is the waterfall, because the final episode they showed what's his face, Bo was on the skyscraper and what looked like the final destination. So Harry and Teddy are only guaranteed next episode.
But you don't know if they go out because they're crying if they're going out.
I'm not saying they're going out.
Or winning,
they're only guarranteed to make next episode.
They'll be there.
Yes.
Then it's a mystery. But I feel like, Ali and Angie, I can't look past them. Angie's going grandma mode, and that's never good on The Amazing Race. So, I feel for them. Ever since her pain has risen, their sexual innuendos have dropped, and it's been really, really upsetting for me. So yeah, I don't really care about her too much in how she's doing, but she's not as entertaining anymore, so she can go now.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Hey, at the beginning of this, Harry and Teddy said Darren and Tristan are sort of like them, except they look like they've been put in a microwave for 30 seconds.
That was good.
Isn't
Line of the
Tristan
season.
a similar age to them?
Yeah, probably.
That's the insult, I guess.
Very much.
If you've seen Tristan had a shirt on compared to them, it's like, Tristan's got more of a Darren bod than a Harry and Teddy bod.
He's more cerebral.
I think the bigger insult. Is that it was.
Me.
Well, I think it was just that it was really only directed at Darren, and Tristan doesn't even factor into their insults. You know what I mean? Like, it's the 2 teams focused. They're focusing on Darren only, and Tristan's just there. So when they're saying they look like melted in the microwave, it's just an old shot at Darren for sure. I did like that.
Fabulous.
That there is a little bit of tension between the two boy teams, which is always interesting.
Yeah.
Labai said here, educating us, which is interesting. Borneo is not a country, but I think production want to cover up the fact that they went back to Malaysia again for 4 legs in a row.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Ellen, do you think the reason we haven't seen any U-turns this season was because of time constraints, or would they have copped too much flack if they brought it in now, like a la Tom and Tyler's elimination in season 4, final 4?
What's a U-turn?
It's when you Oh, you go, Michelle.
No, go on, Tom.
Oh, it's when you make one of the teams do the other detour. So you have to do both challenges, but you have to make sure that person's behind you, because if they're already in front of you, obviously they can't go back and do that. So it's so
usually it's the first team that arrives gets the choice, and if they don't want to take the choice, they can pass it on, and someone down the line may get it. That's where strategy actually does come into play a little bit, because it's, do I want to offend someone? Do I want to cause waves by putting a U-turn on someone? Will they U-turn me later, or do I let it pass? And then it becomes the second last team goes, well, they're behind me. I need them to be even further behind me. So, you know, or do you U-turn the good team that's dominating, and you finally get a chance to actually, you know, put a U-turn in front of them, make them take longer. So basically, the detour where they choose, they're forced to do the second one as well.
Sure. Yikes.
And usually you can see who's U-turned you. But in this week's episode of the US race, they had a blind U-turn. So everyone just voted for someone at the beginning of the episode. So it wasn't as if they could be strategic in who's in front or who's behind. They just, they had to be strategic in, did they want to U-turn a good team, or did they want to U-turn a team who they know is behind them and would definitely go out? So they all voted, and one team was U-turn. They had to do both sides of the detour, and they were a good team anyway. I won't tell you what happened.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of this.
They all
do you think we
died.
haven't seen any this season?
They all died.
Yeah, everyone.
What a fun show.
They got
I want to watch
escalated
that
rather
now.
quickly.
Yeah.
Why do you think we haven't seen any U-turns?
I don't think they want to do it to the celebrities. They're already stressed enough.
Yeah, imagine Harry and Teddy throw a tantrum again for the detour as well, like after a speed bump. Yeah.
Exactly.
So our next route info is called Fillet of Fish. Takes place at a local fish market where teams basically have to clean and gut Styx fish. A fairly generic, straightforward task, which comes with difficulties in that it's got the gross factor that they always have on the Amazing Race. It's got the difficulty factor. It's got the attention to detail. Someone said at one point, everything's just a red mess. I don't know if something should be taken out or left. That's sort of thing.
Red mess. I missed that. I heard Emma said this is like a really bad science lesson, but I didn't hear the red mess, so that's good.
I don't know what to leave in and what to take out.
Take it all out.
Emma, after the last episode, said that when she had the bicycling with the brooms, she said, with these thighs, this is the perfect challenge for me. Again, going to but this is the one that goes the other way. She said, not a good challenge for her. No upper body strength, apparently, to cut the fish and chop the thing. They said she was only chopping delicately while the boys were able to get through bone and that sort of thing. Tom, are you good at gutting fish? Is that a common activity for Tomac?
Of course.
I was actually just at the dock doing it. I was almost going to be late, and I haven't had a chance to shower yet. This is my my fish gutting clothes, but I thought it was an interesting challenge. Like my dad commented on Emma and Haley's performance when they actually handed the fish over. I think they took out like way more than they actually had to. Like they just mutilated their fish. Like they just had no idea what to do at all. It was just like, oh, let me just take everything out of this fish and hope it's good enough.
That'd be me.
So, yeah. So as an expert fish gutter, because I was just down at the docks, it was hard to watch Emma and Haley's performance. But Harry and Teddy, they have the art. Harry is almost like Van Gogh. Just the way he guts that fish. It's beautiful. Oh.
Oh, the chef's kiss on the fish gutting from Tom there. High praise.
Well,
Via, you there you go. Via, you adept at gutting fish?
No, but it looked delicious. I can't walk past a fish market and not go in. It looked amazing. But no, I don't want to gut them myself. I wouldn't know what to leave in and take out. I'd be like, does it all come out? I'd get half the meat out of it as well. I'd be hopeless.
It's a skill that you often don't think about being difficult at all, right? Like you think it sounds easy, but there's probably a little bit more to it than you probably think, Michelle.
Yeah, I've got no idea. I mean,
I have gutted a fish.
I think I've seen my husband do it.
I have gutted fish, and I did that thing. I went on deep sea fishing boat thing, charter or whatever it is.
Boat thing? The boat thing?
I threw up over the side of the boat or whatever, but we had to gut and clean whatever fish we caught, or like they showed us. It was part of the experience, and I was like, yeah, I'll learn. And the whole time I'm like just doing like this, like it's disgusting. I brought it home to my Filipino mum, who's gutted many fish by hand in her time, and she was like, "What is this? This is not good." And she started ripping more out. I didn't clean it enough for her. Like I brought home the fish, she had to re-gut them, but I said it's because I was crying the whole time how disgusting it was. So this one I know is hard. Darren said that he wishes he went out on a fishing trip just one time with his mates, so he'd have the advantage here, but didn't get to do it. We do see Harry and Teddy overtake the ladies again here to take the lead. Where is it? Someone said, oh yeah, it was RD said, I like the constant position changes in this episode. That there wasn't just one winner from start to end. It kind of kept going like back and forth, lots of position changes. And Ellen said, I don't enjoy scaling and filleting fish, but I do it for the race. There you go.
Of course.
We then get our next detour with the choice being saving the mangroves or saving the reef. So yeah, we're basically they choose Darren and Tristan, Ali and Angie, they choose saving the reef. Their mission basically involved collecting dead coral, gluing living coral fragments together, or nubbins or nubbins, depending on who in the episode says it, because they said it different ways each time, and then swinging it back to the ocean. What did you think of this challenge here? Is this the same lines of fruit baskets, or is it along the lines of lotus silk? Is this a good one? Is it
it looks so much fun. I can't believe that that's a thing that could possibly work. And again, I love these challenges where they're actually giving back to the communities in some kind of way. That warms my heart. And those waters, Borneo. I think my heart lives in Borneo.
Nice. I know my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter, was watching and going, I want to go there. I want to go there now. Like, okay.
It just looked beautiful, and the water was so clear, and they were doing this little bit for conservation, and looked like a dream.
It's the whole combination of it, isn't it?
It just looked beautiful. I just thought, that guy that was doing that job, that conservationist, like I can't even remember his name or what exactly he did, but I thought, what a job.
Yeah.
To do that every day.
Save the coral. Bring back the reef.
Save the reefs.
To think the guy had no personality. I mean, like, he's got a cool job and he's just the most boring man alive. Like, could they not find anyone else? I know there aren't like a lot of marine biologists out there, but
I don't know, man. The way he held up the coral and counted to 10.
Oh, I love that.
Tristan.
Tristan wasn't coping with life. Honestly, he couldn't see that putting the piece of coral on a different way would actually make it sit really well. And Darren's just like, just do that. Like it was common sense. And
he said, you know what he called him at that point? He said to Tristan, he said of Tristan, the fear-faced Tristan came out, flappy fanny over here. What is that? He's British as well, right? He's not like an American saying fanny as in like butt
the
or
one-liners keep coming.
He called him flappy fanny, which is a weird thing to call your nephew. That's for sure.
I call my nephew that all the time. He's only 1 year old. Yeah, he's only 1 year old. No,
he is.
yeah, no, but I thought both challenges were great. Although, like, wouldn't the coral one be way like quicker? Like, I think they were both easy, but like in the second one, you had to like kayak 3 kilometers. Like, I thought that would take up a fair amount of time. So I don't know why.
Saving the mangroves, they basically had to kayak to find some seeds for mangroves and then take them back and plant them. Essentially,
I mean, they usually
with the conservation thing.
Well, they usually do trials so they can figure out the timings of both of them. So they must have been similar. But obviously, we didn't see it. But cement stuff would have needed time to dry, I would say. That might have given more time
to do the holding thing.
Yeah.
And apparently it doesn't matter how many you collect. You just collect them and go, and then go, just grab a couple.
How many do we need again? 6? Was it 6?
I couldn't believe that. They didn't go straight back and go, we need to figure this out first.
Yeah. I mean, at least, Emma decided, she knew she had to get so many, get a few more just in case, some aren't right, perfect. And then you've got Darren and not Darren, Teddy and Harry, like getting a random amount. Like,
doesn't matter. The Amazing Race won't know. They won't care how many we get.
Yeah, never.
They never check that.
I just take
they
more.
Did go. Well, take everything so that no one else can have a go.
Yeah, exactly. Be like, I'm going to be the only person to save the planet. Evil plan. Yeah.
How many hats does Emma have? How many hats? V, have you counted?
Oh, the hats.
What
the hats are. The hat could have its own team. That black hat.
I know.
There's
so much fabric in it.
I don't know if it angers me or I love it. I can't decide.
I don't like it.
It gives me a stomach feeling every time I see it. Just like,
I love Emma. Love the wiggles. But why is she walking like an old woman? Why?
It doesn't even stay on properly sometimes. Like,
why?
Yeah.
She walks like a lumberjack. Bless her. You think she's just determined to be a goober, I think.
Yeah.
Determined.
I think she is.
Well, one thing that allows them to do, because I mean, they are goobers. They're nerds. Like they're sweet, but they're nerds. But what it does allow them to do is listen properly and know, like you said, like they needed to get 36. They got 41. They got a few extra for the thing. To be fair, Teddy and Harry did the same thing as well. In that, I think Harry said we need 6, and they got 24.
Just in case.
Yeah, he got 24 just in case, and then found out that it was actually 36 that they needed. So again, attention to detail, listening, not their strongest point. Em and Haley go past again, another lead change, and it brings us to our roadblock, which was the question was, who wants to headhunt? So again, they asked the mysterious question to then see who wants to do the challenge or the roadblock. And unlike many of the others in this episode, we see the roadblock where you can't see what's going on. The partner that has to wait and see can only wait and not see, actually, and sort of hope for the best. So it has that air of mystery there. So basically, team members had to walk along a hike and spot a series of tribal or indigenous masks in the forest, and then when they get back, essentially put what order they saw these masks in. Tom, how you doing with headhunting masks here?
He'll be great.
That would have been great.
Perfect.
I loved Darren's strategy. Like he found 8, and then he just moved around the one he didn't know. Yeah, but also like no one else was like. I mean, I didn't see anyone else with like a sheet of paper. Like, did no one else think, oh, maybe if I've done what they are, that'd make more sense. But yeah, no, I think it'd be a pretty easy challenge. You just got to go, like the one that had the very first one that Emma sees. I would have been like, kind of gives me like anglerfish vibes, so I'd be like anglerfish, pighead.
That's what Darren did.
Goat.
I couldn't think of any other names. Yeah. I can't imagine being hard to remember 9 things.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. The writing down things is interesting. Ellen actually asked, were they allowed to write this down or not? Because they only showed Darren doing that. I think Darren is smart enough to push the rules when it doesn't say specifically you can or can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because we remember Mahjong, they got help. Darren is not afraid to ask locals anything. Like,
also with the fish gutting, they got help with that apparently.
They were.
They were checking like, is this all good? So Yeah, I think Darren's just like way smarter than everyone else in this race. I don't know if it's like if you put any of these teams against other amazing race teams, if it would be like stiff competition, or if Darren and Tristan would be the only team that could actually like keep up with the others. Maybe Emma and Haley as well, but like I feel like it's a pretty low bar in terms of the quality of the teams this season.
Right.
Yeah.
He's doing very well. He used his like ADHD superpowers. Ellen said, as a fellow ADHD, I related on a spiritual level during this challenge. And they end up outpacing the others to complete the task first. And during this, we see Angie fall and re-injure her back, causing her to basically start over again. Like, just a lot of pain. And she's got ankles, she's got back, she's kind of got all 53 years of life kind of catching up with her at the moment in what can be, the Amazing Race. The challenges that we see on here isn't like the most physical of Survivor or anything, but when you're doing it back to back to back, non-stop racing the whole time and all that, there's no real resting time for them. Like, they're not sitting on the beach waiting in between. Like, they're pretty much racing unless they're resting, and then that's it. So I can see why it would catch up with her. Yeah,
I can't imagine that pack helps either, carrying that backpack to and fro everywhere, walking fast with it. She'd forget how fast she's walking probably, because they're just I felt every bit of that back injury. I was like, oh God, it was really hard to watch. I felt for her.
They did drop the little hint at the start of the challenge when she's walking. She's like, "Oh, the ground's uneven. There's rocks and roots and stuff everywhere." And then, like, later on, we see it sort of come back. They dropped that little edit in there, which is interesting.
Yeah, they also showed it in the preview for the episode. They showed like someone falls over, and then you see Ali crying. I wonder who falls over. Also, where's the waterfall? This is like, there's so many like editing faux pas. Like, on the whole, the show is really well edited, I think, but there are some just like really obvious
previews and stuff.
Yeah, but there's so many of us actually looking for this damn waterfall. Nearly every promo, every ep we've done for the last like 5 eps. It's like, it's crazy. Like, editors have a lot to answer for. I think I've got a couple in the group. I might write a post to them. I won't say I just don't pointedly, tag them, but I'll just say, come on, can you please not do anything like the waterfall thing again?
Yeah, it's silly.
Episode 1 spoil, and we're up to episode 10 now, and like, that's how far ahead they kind of essentially spoiled it. It wasn't like sometimes you kind of go, oh, they'd put a spoiler, but it was for week 2 or 3, and it's kind of like, it's not that far in, but it's a big one. It turned out to be a big one. So after the headhunt roadblock, we get our pit stop clue, but it involves an extra task. Normally they finish the roadblock or whatever, and they run straight to the pit stop, land on the mat, it's all done. But this time, Bo says that he's actually thirsty. Like, I like that, to incorporate another task into the thing, like another challenge. Yeah, we'll just use Bo. Bo's always willing to make himself the butt of the joke or the clown of the joke or whatever it is. And he says, yeah, I'm thirsty. I need a coconut. So they essentially had to swim, fetch a coconut from the middle of the ocean, and then kayak it over to Bo, which, again, just another little wrinkle in the thing. Like, I like that. It's another potential spot where people can stuff up, people can catch up, people can take leads, all that sort of thing, if you're not that great with it. But Darren and Tristan secured first spot again here. Harry and Teddy closely behind them. Then Emma and Haley were in third. Ali and Angie, after the back injury and all that sort of thing, reached them at last. But we're relieved to find out, not surprised like the rest of us at all weren't surprised, but they were surprised to find out that it was, in fact, a predetermined non-elimination leg.
But if they were fans, they would know that would be a non-elimination leg, and you don't stress. Like, so I would know.
Beck and Kate would have known.
Yeah.
So it does bring us to there. And again, similar to what you were saying, Tom, about the timing and the way they place them, not even just necessarily the like how many weeks in between, but I said it on one of the other non-elimination leagues. It feels weird when you have 2 episodes in a week, back-to-back episodes on Wednesday, Thursday. Why you end the Thursday one on a non-elimination when you could have just closed the week out? Like, let them race again Wednesday to Thursday, then eliminate on Thursday. We start the next week fresh. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird that they do stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it just kills a lot of momentum, and I'm feeling like I've been really pumped like for previous weeks, but like I'm not super like dying to see the result. I really love Harry and Teddy, and I love Darren and Tristan. Like I love both those teams, and it's rare that you have 2 teams you really like in the final 4, and I don't dislike the other 2 teams either. That they're also fine. So yeah, like there's great teams and casting, I think. But yeah, I'm just like a little like, okay, let's get this week, let's wrap it up. Come on, people. Waterfall time.
Let's get to the waterfall.
Yeah,
what if the waterfall is the win? Imagine this. I know you said it's not. You saw the preview that like the final.
It can't be the winner thing. He's in the city. They're in the
Imagine
city.
if it
Like,
was.
it's next episode.
It would be pretty
They're doing
fun.
like they actually did it on purpose. They did like a mole thing in the edit where they like the opening
There's
credit.
no
We spoiled.
waterfall.
Yeah. Something like that. People are looking for it. But that does bring us to the end of week 5. We've lost Yana and Core.
We need the
We've
graph.
got Darren. We need to have a look at the thing. We'll have a look at what our. If I'll bring it up now.
Is that a hand behind you?
Me?
What is that thing with brown? It looks like brown fingers, Kahuna.
Is that the Infinity Gauntlet?
This one?
Yeah.
A hand.
Yeah.
It looks like a hand.
It is. It's the Hulk Avengers.
Oh,
Infinity
it's the Hulk
Gauntlet.
one.
Oh,
It's the Hulk
Right.
one.
that's cool.
Nice.
That gets 2 thumbs up from me.
Hey, fireworks. So here we go. We're going to our final week, folks. We were right with Yana and Core. So good job there.
Yeah.
If I can grab this down.
They're going down.
Okay, we're left with the final 4.
I
And I
think
think
Ali and Angie
really-
are going.
Yeah. Poor
They're next.
Angie's falling to bits. Poor woman.
Yeah. I think
So
that's
we got-
pretty good. I really think it's going to be one of those teams. Unless, hang on. At the end, he said this has never happened before in Amazing Race history. Now, I'm 99% that there hasn't been a mother-daughter winner.
Oh.
There's no way they could win though. That's like
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
Could it be a
yeah, 'cause-
draw?
But someone's
is
going
that
to have to put their foot on the mat last.
Wasn't someone saying last week that there hasn't been an all-female winner for
No, there has
Australia?
been.
For Australia.
Yeah, but it's worldwide. He said worldwide.
Ah, worldwide. Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting.
There's never
Uncle
been
and nephew. Uncle and nephew.
There's never been a Harry and Barry win ever.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of what it could be. Like other
Look,
than
if Ali and Angie make it through Wednesday, I'm going to say something bad happens to everyone else and they somehow get on the mat.
they Stephen Bradbury it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
I reckon I'm just wondering, like, do you reckon Harry and Teddy win the next leg? Because that would be their very first win. So that's obviously super emotional in the final week.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
at the waterfall
Yeah.
just before the finale, and it's like we didn't
Happy
have
tears.
bro. I love you so much, bro. I can't.
There
believe
you
it,
go. That's a good prediction.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say they're happy tears.
Mm.
But we wouldn't move them for the considering we've got 2 episodes and it's going to be the finale, do you think they're winning? Like, I think it's Darren and Tristan, Emma and Haley, right? I think.
I don't know what this worldwide first is.
I mean, Harry and Teddy, like, in terms of their performances, so they come second, the third, seventh, sixth, fifth, second, off the top of my head, of course.
Sure.
So I'm just wondering, like, would that be a low Amazing Racer or a high middle of the pack? There are a couple of rough ones in the middle, but their start and their more recent episodes have been very, very strong. Would you say the high middle of the pack or low Amazing Racers by those standards? Or we need to wait to see what they do in the final week to.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get another shot at this. This is the last thing, right?
Someone suggested online maybe no one makes the mat. Something happens to all of them.
For the first time in Amazing Race history.
It'd be like Traders Australia, the latest season.
They all Grand Daniel'd it.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh God.
But yeah, I don't know.
We're happy with Darren and Tristan as basically top spot, though, right? We think they're kind of the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
100%.
With the exception of this little potential spoiler alert about the world first. So it's just a matter. And are we happy with Emma and Haley ahead of Harry and Teddy?
Yeah. They are.
I am.
So you were saying, Tom, it's whether they're up here or down here.
No. I was saying, so like, I mean, could you consider all 3 of the top 3 like Amazing Races? Like, I mean,
like this.
Yeah.
I'm saying either Harry and Teddy would be like low Amazing Race tier or high, very high middle of the pack, like an A minus B plus kind of thing.
Whichever way we put it, right. We're down to the final 4 teams. It's not like there's a lot of leeway there, and I think by even if you say they're all Amazing Races, we're still ranking who we think is the potential order, or who we would rank the order of, regardless of the outcome, right?
Yeah.
So you want to leave it like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're saying Darren and Tristan with their 5 wins, Emma and Haley with their 3 wins, Harry and Teddy with no wins are all essentially the same level.
No, I'd put Harry and Teddy down. I'm happy for them to be up there.
Okay,
I'm happy.
But my
I'm
prediction.
just thinking in first, second, third, it looks about right.
Yeah, but then I'm also thinking world first, Ali and Angie. I'm like, well, what else can there be?
Yeah. I mean,
but I wouldn't put them as Amazing Races because they're not.
Jonathan's got the answer there. First time ever, everyone gets U-turned.
Jonathan's back.
Jonathan's back.
Get another week out of it.
He heard his name.
He heard I was threatening him.
Yeah,
threatening his place. No, but yeah, I reckon Harry and Teddy are definitely. So Harry and Teddy win the next one, and then they're like the team that finishes third by a landslide in the finale. Like they just completely botch a challenge or something, and they're like out of the running about halfway through the episode or something.
Or they're crying and go out, leaving Ali and Angie in the finale.
Well, Ellen's got a theory over here. She said, I'm thinking Harry and Teddy will be the last ones to make the final episode. Hence why Bo would talk to them about their charity and then go, you've made the finale. So in that third, fourth slot, maybe.
Switch around.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff coming up. We are sort of... Tom said he's not necessarily fascinated by the final episodes or the finale coming up.
I am now. I'm back. I was a little sleepy before, sorry.
But it is going to be the final week of the Amazing Race Australia. We've got 4 teams left. Ali and Angie, we're saying, as potential early exits this week, with the final 3 being Harry and Teddy, Em and Haley, Darren and Tristan. I think we're all sort of on board for that. I hope it's going to be a big week this week. Does anyone want to plug anything? I'll wait till the penultimate episode of the actual thing before people put up there. I know Michelle runs the group for the Amazing Race Australia on Facebook. There's always great chats going on live there, as well as every other group about every other reality TV show So
Oh, Big Brother's about to start, but yeah, I'm only a moderator in that group, but I'm already deleting things from people. It's just a group full of trouble. Trouble. I don't promote it at all. Don't go there.
Michelle, of course, does The Amazing Race US on Fridays with Chris right here on TNT. Tom and V doing Survivor UK. When is that on the channel?
I think we film it Wednesday night, but it might be like in between Wednesday and Thursday because we have to cater to the Poms. Oh, that's it. It's outrageous.
So we got Survivor UK, we got The Amazing Race. I'm doing the Challenge and Survivor US. So there's always a lot happening on the TNT Nullified Take channel. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be back next week for the live finale recap. Bring it all up, and we're going to dissect the seasons, dissect the episodes, dissect the whole thing. But until then, this has been the Nullified Take for your takes on The Amazing Race Australia. There it is. See you, folks.
Come on. Magic. Where is it? Oh, no.
Fireworks.
Where's the fireworks when you need them?